welcome to Universal Group of Institutions. I am Lavanya. So in the last video we discussed NCERT Grade 7's 6th chapter, which is Respiration in Organisms. If you have not watched, do visit our channel Universal Group of Institutions. In this video we'll move forward with the next chapter, chapter 7, which is Transportation in Animals and Plants. So in any living organisms, whether it is a unicellular or a multicellular, transportation of elements or minerals is essential. Why? Because every cell is burning energy, taking in oxygen, producing waste, and it requires a constant supply of nutrients. If we consider humans, we have trillions of cells. Diffusion alone cannot help us. So nature has evolved an important system of transportation. So let's start by understanding blood. So what is blood? Blood is a main carrier of materials in our body. Majorly, blood is a fluid connective tissue. So it carries oxygen from lungs to the cells. It carries nutrients from the small intestine to our cell, and it carries hormones from the glands and reaches the cells. Along with that, they also carry waste products to kidney and help to remove waste materials from the body. So now blood is made up of two major components. What it is made up of? It is made up of two major components. One is plasma. One is plasma, which is a liquid portion, and the second one is blood cells. So blood is made up of two major components. One is plasma, which is a liquid portion, and the second one is blood cells. So plasma is a pale yellow color and it contains glucose, proteins, hormones and minerals ions also. If we look into the blood cells, there are majorly three types of blood cells which are suspended in the plasma. Okay, so blood is made up of two major components. One is plasma and the second one is blood cells, where plasma is a pale yellow color liquid texture where these blood cells are suspended in it. So what are these three major blood cells? One is RBC, which is also known as red blood cells. So these red blood cells contains red pigment called hemoglobin. They contain a red pigment called hemoglobin which binds oxygen. So this is why our blood color is red. So without hemoglobin, oxygen transport would be extremely inefficient. So RBC, which has a hemoglobin pigment, binds to the oxygen and helps in the transport of oxygen. Second, we have the white blood cells or WBC. So these white blood cells have the major contribution in our immune response because they produce neutrophils, basophils, macrophages and NK cells and all, which fight against the pathogens. So WBC, they defend the body against the infection. So they protect us from the infection. And the third one is platelets. So if you have a cut, so what happens? The blood starts ooze out. After sometimes the blood stops oozing out. So how does this phenomenon takes place? The major blood component acts over here is the platelets. So they help in blood clotting. So if there is no platelets present, then we cannot stop the bleeding or the bleeding will be severe. So what is the help of platelets? They help to clot the blood and stop the bleeding. So blood is made up of two major components. One is plasma and the other one is the blood cells. Plasma is the liquid portion where it is yellowish in color, and blood cells are suspended in the plasma. So the blood cells contains RBC, WBC and the platelets. So hemoglobin is responsible for oxygen transport and the red color of the blood, and platelets help in the clotting of the blood. Now we will talk about the transport network. So how these blood is been traveling or transporting in our system. The blood needs a system or a pipe to flow, right? So inside our body, there are blood vessels present in our body. So there are blood vessels present in our body. We have arteries, veins and capillaries. So first we will look into the arteries. So arteries carry blood away from the heart. They carry oxygen rich blood away from the heart, where arteries are thick elastic walls and have a high pressure in them. So arteries carry oxygen rich blood from the heart to all the parts of the body and then have a thick walls due to rapid blood flow at high pressure. And second, we'll talk about the veins. So veins carry oxygen or the deoxygenated blood towards the heart. So they carry the blood towards the heart, which is the deoxygenated or carbon dioxide rich blood back to the heart. They have the thin walls with the valve that allow blood to flow only towards the heart. So they contains a valve which prevent the back flow. So they can only move forward or reach to the heart. And third, we will talk about the capillaries. So these capillaries are extremely thin and they connect arteries and veins. So it is a site of exchange of gases, nutrients and the waste. So if you feel your wrist, the throbbing you sense over there is called as pulse. So the expansion of arteries when the blood is pumped. Okay. So now let's move to understand the mechanism of circulation. So how this pump and the exchange of gases and the movement of blood takes place. So to understand that, we'll learn about the heart. So the human heart is about the size of a closed fist and lies slightly tilted to the left side of the chest cavity. So where is the heart located? Heart is located in the chest cavity, which is its lower tip tilted to the left side. So the heart is roughly size of your own wrist. If you close your wrist, the closed fist, it is the size of your wrist. And it beats continuously to pump blood throughout your body. So your heart should work non-stop. Yes. So heart have four major chambers. So heart have four major chambers. What are they? They are right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium and the left ventricle. So the two upper chambers are called atria and the two lower chambers are called as the ventricles. So there is a separation to ensure that oxygenated and deoxygenated blood will never be mixed. Okay. So the partition is present. So this partition makes sure that oxygen rich blood and the carbon dioxide rich blood will never mix. It beats continuously about 72 to 80 times per minute in a resting adult. So each beat consists of a contraction and a relaxation. So contraction is known as systole and the relaxation is known as diastole. Okay. The rhythmic beating creates pressure that pushes blood through the arteries. So this is a double circulation, or our heart has a double circulation where the blood flows from the heart to the lungs and again to the heart and to the body. So this ensures that efficient oxygen is being released or being given to each and every cell. So how does the blood circulate? When the deoxygenated blood enters the heart, so it enters through the right atrium. So when the blood delivers the oxygen to the body and return back with the carbon dioxide or deoxygenated blood, they enters the right atrium through two major veins, which is super vena cava and inferior vena cava. And then the right atrium contracts, pushing the blood through the tricuspid valve into the right ventricle. So when the right ventricle contracts, the blood is forced through the pulmonary valve into the pulmonary artery, so which carries blood to the lungs. So here the exchange of gases takes place in the lungs. The blood releases carbon dioxide and blood absorbs oxygen. So the blood is transformed into the oxygen rich blood. So the oxygenated blood travels back to the heart via pulmonary veins entering the left atrium. Now the left atrium contracts, sending blood back through the valve into the left ventricle. So the left ventricle, which is the strongest chamber, contracts forcefully. Blood flows through the aortic valve and the aorta. So the aorta is the largest artery in the body. So the aorta branches into the arteries that deliver oxygenated blood to all the cells and tissues. So after the cells use up the oxygen, the deoxygenated blood returns to the right side of the heart, restarting the cycle. So this is how the entire circulation takes place, or the blood circulation takes place. So many people die due to lack of blood, or if there is an emergency or an accident, a patient may die because of the insufficient blood. So blood donation awareness is also an important. So this is about the circulation in humans, or transportation in the humans. So how the blood is being transferred from the heart to the lungs, and from the lungs to the heart, and again to the cells. So in the next video, we'll continue with the next concepts. So if you find this video informative, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you.